Germany did, to some extent Brazil did, the United States, TVET is a very popular thing. And so for the past, actually 2 years ago, I came to Accra Technical University as a Carnegie Fellow. Carnegie Fellowship is given by the Carnegie Foundation, which is surprisingly that we Africans get to come to our country, support our country on somebody's back. That's the Carnegie Foundation. I don't think there's anything like that in Africa that supports diaspora to come back. So I came 2 years ago to support ATU, and we talk about the project later on. And this year, I've come back again to support that. And this particular time, my focus is more on projects that will support the development of the nation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Prof. So today we are talking about the very topic that you are interested in, that is transforming TVET education, especially in Ghana. But before we go, let me read this definition of TVET I came across when I was doing a bit of research, which I think is interesting. It's by the UNESCO, and they defined TVET as aspects of the educational process involving, in addition to general education, the study of technologies and related sciences, and the acquisition of practical skills, attitudes, understanding, and knowledge relating to occupants in various sectors of economic and social life. If I take a critical look at this definition, it looks as if TVET promises the solutions to most, if not all, of our challenges that we have on the continent. But if you come to Ghana, we've practiced TVET over some time, but that is not the case. Why do you think so?
It's interesting. I mean, this is the first time I've actually seen this definition. I think it's in a very broader scope. The spectrum of that definition is pretty broad, and I think they take it from the lowest level of TVET to the highest level, maybe to the highest level of academia. So, coming back to your question about why TVET has not supported our development, I think it has to do with policies. It has to do with government support. It has to do with the mindset of the people. When we were going to school, if you decide to go to technical school, you are mocked at. Would you take your child to a technical school? Chances are right now to sit here, the answer will be no. And so people assume that when you go to technical schools, you are weak-minded. When you go to technical schools, you are not strong academically, and therefore, I would rather go and take a business degree, a 4-year business degree, even though I'm a fully born, hands-on person. So we need to change that attitude in the country. Look, if you go to a place like Germany, most of the folks there at TVET education, they don't have first degrees. When you go to the US, you'll be surprised to see how many US citizens don't have first degrees. But they are very strong financially. Why? Because they're TVET, they can do things with their hands. When you bring a technician to your house in the United States, for instance, the person gets to your house is $75 just by showing up. And then they're going to check and see if there's anything to worry about. And then they will bill you. If your house is falling apart, they will charge you whatever they want. You will fix it, right? And here we don't care. So, I know we're going to have a broader discussion on that, but the reason why TVET is not working is simply because of lack of proper policies, lack of, support from homes, parents, the children themselves, and the people who lead them.
Okay. So, Prof, let's look at the scope of TVET. You made comparisons between Germany and Ghana, what happens in the USA and here in Ghana. Already, post-colonial era, we were, TVET were focusing on needleworks, masonry, carpentry, tailoring, all to support, economic activities in the country. But over the years and with your experience, do you find any difference in scope, especially comparing what is being taught as a part of the TVET curriculum in the West and what is being done in Ghana?
You see, it's a very interesting question, and the way I would take it is, education is a dynamic process. Education is a process that goes on from point A, point B, from person A, person B. Now, you cannot be static when it comes to developing educational systems. And the sad part is, and this is sad, and hopefully our leadership here will listen. I think 2 or 3 years ago, the Ghana government revised the GES curriculum. And it is surprising to see some of the things they are still teaching in the math area. Things that don't go anywhere. Wasting students' mind is still in there. So even though, needlework and all those things were introduced here in Ghana, the question now is, with advancement in technology, do we still need to do needlework? Because it takes time to sew just a little thing. You can use a machine to do it. So we need to understand that we need to move on a process that is extremely dynamic. And nowadays, the dynamism is very fast. So what pertains in the US and what pertains here in Ghana are two different things. US is a fully developed nation, so their TVET orientation will be different from the TVET we do here in Ghana. We cannot fit our potholes. Look, I'm having so many plumbing issues in this house. We can't do proper plumbing, so we should focus on the current challenges instead of wasting our time on challenges that are not even here. People are building stuff, that are not here in this country because they just want to be TVET involved. So for me, we should not compare the two systems. I think Germany, US, maybe we are currently at a point where Germany and maybe I think people will be upset to hear it, but maybe 1,000 years ago where we are is where they were then. And so we should be doing what they were doing 1,000 years ago, technically, if you want to face our country.
Okay, that is interesting. So let's look at, the roles of, stakeholders in all these challenges, in all these issues of, standardization, especially taking into consideration what we need to do. What would you say would be the role of the GES and then the TVET that has been set up to oversee TVET education in Ghana? And then we can also come down to technical universities, which were first polytechnics, but now they've been converted to technical universities. What do you think their role will be?
Okay, I think the most important thing is to make sure TVET is seen as a good area, because nowadays the youth don't see TVET as a good area. And so the education piece has to be there. We need to make sure we popularize TVET. Maybe we should establish strong scholarship for TVET students to go there with nothing. They don't have to pay anything. We should make TVET very nice, very beautiful, very sexy. We should actually encourage our parents, because our parents, look, they don't seem to understand what is going on. And so let me actually tell you this story. About 10 years ago, I went to Korea. That was my first time in Korea. I went to Seoul, and on my way back, I didn't sleep. I spent my entire period writing a document, and I ended up with about a 10-page document, about 9 objectives on how to build this country. I gave a copy to the NADO. I've met him face to face, and I gave a copy to a friend to give to John Mahama at the time. My focus was simple. I said every single district in this country should have a technical and vocational education set up. But they should not just set it up, they should set it up to link with what is produced in that area. So if Begro is in plantain or cocoyam farming, then they should make a TVET that they can plant cocoyam, process it, maybe export it. If Ankomah is in tomato factory, they should set a TVET so that the student can plant, grow very well, set up industries in that area. That is how you build a country. Now, once you do that, guess what? My plan was simple. I want every student who goes to that school to go there for free. And not that they just go there for free. They go there and study for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe Saturday and Sunday. They're in the farms. They are working, so they work to pay themselves. That is how you build a nation, see? So we need to create systems, and this is the government's responsibility to create systems and then bring in the private partnership so that they can build the infrastructure to support those systems. Nothing like that. See, look, I think the new COVID director, who I happen to know, Fred, is doing a very good job. But he's working within the confines of the system that exists. And if the system is not strong, nothing will move forward.
Okay, so your suggestion is for the government to build the systems, and within the system, things are going to work. Now, let's look at what our current system is, and what are the key things from the recommendation that you wrote to the government. What are the key things that we need to fix so that we get to the level that you aspire?
Okay, I know this will come up, but as a professor, okay, the immediate thing is the people who go there to teach the students. If you look at the technical universities right now, they are proposing to have PhDs to teach technical students. PhDs. A PhD is somebody who went and did research. What do you need research for when it comes to building, welding? Let them do all the research in welding, and then you bring it to the hands-on people. These are maybe, look, I don't have anything against people with PhDs. I'm a PhD myself. But I don't deserve to be teaching, I don't have the skill to teach a TVET student. So that is where the problem is. We need to understand that we cannot just follow what other people are doing and just replicate it here. It doesn't work that way. So the current system needs to be retooled, and that's a TVET term. It has to be retooled. We need to change the entire dynamics of the TVET environment. Okay. Make sure that we put in the, look, I went to Belgrade. My wife's hometown is Belgrade. I'm not sure whether the Germans or the British set up a beautiful vocational institution there. Collapsed. I took pictures. It collapsed. Why would anybody allow a TVET to collapse in a place where they need TVET people to do plumbing, do vocationals, do all kinds of stuff? So the system is collapsed. Okay. And we cannot just continue to build new system, talk about TVET, do workshops and this and that. And that is not TVET. TVET is go to the road and fix it. Like the motorway.
Okay, so Prof, do you see this issue as a problem of lack of proactiveness, lack of the right leadership, or lack of funding?
All of it. But you see, the sad part is, I would take the funding from it. Because I think we have so much in this system to be able to fund all this stuff. We are sitting here in Ghana, and Chinese come here, mine our gold, and go sell it. They mine our gold with their bare hands. And we have bare hands. We are even stronger. So I'll take the funding out. The funding is here. The problem is the leadership are not strong enough to support that. They don't care. That's the bottom line.
Okay.
If the leadership care, look at our roadways. And I was talking to you about it. Accra to my motorway, nobody should call that a motorway. The era of the motorway is gone. Kwame Nkrumah died with it. Now there's so much volume on the road. People need to make a right turn to go home. And that is why the trotro stop and they enter. That is why Bobo Ya or Plagia and motorcycle and people crossing. I mean, how can any rational human being? I'm getting a little upset, but pardon me to be upset, because this doesn't make any sense in any human organization where you have young kids, mothers crossing the motorway, called the motorway. It was a motorway, now it is not.
Okay. So actually, I really understand your frustration, because we use the motorway coming here and we experienced most of the things that we are talking about. So over here, let's take the issue of the motorway and let's link it to TVET.
Yes.
How do the two come together to, let's say, leveraging on TVET to solve problems like that? Okay.
So, I mean, in a more simplistic way, because the motorway generally was supposed to, in traffic, we have something we call access and mobility, right? Yeah. Mobility is when you want to move things very fast. So speed is considered. Yeah. Access is when you want to give people access to abutting properties to make a left hand, right hand, and go home. So we say we give them access. So that is, if you want to move into that, that's a little more complicated issue. But in terms of TVET, look, we should be able to have people on the road fixing the road all the time. But I'm not going to talk about TVET when it comes to the motorway, because motorway should not be a motorway anymore. We should put traffic signals on them. If you cannot expand the lanes or put additional road for people to go home, let's actually put traffic signals on them. Okay. But when it comes to TVET in general, look, when you look at the motorway, we have right now all the lights are not working, right?
Yes.
All you need is a 2-year technician who will be able to roam around and check the lighting system. God being so good, we are placed in the center of the earth, where the sun shines on our head every single. Maybe that is why we are not doing well, because the sun shines on our head all the time. Yeah, we have solar. So I want a technician to be walking around. In this electrical guy, I want a civil engineer to be walking around. I want someone to understand materials. I want someone to understand concrete. I want the masonry to be able to be, look, our roads can be paved with all kinds of paving stones we do in the country. These are all very simple hands-on things. Why can't we build our own roads? And even our basic roads are built by other people, because the funding comes from other people.
Okay, Prof, let's rest on this and go for a short break. And when we come
back,
we'll continue with our discussion.
All right.
Okay, this is interesting. We will go for a short break, and when we come, we will introduce, we will continue with our discussion. Stay with us. Welcome. This is AAU TV and we are on Diaspora Connect. Today we are talking about transforming TVET education in Ghana, and I'm speaking with Professor Baffour, who has been giving us interesting insights to how we can solve some of the problems we have with TVET in the country. Prof, before we left off, we were talking about, you know, how TVET can help us solve some of the problems we have in the country. But before we go on that hurdle, I want inclusivity in a lot of things. You already talked about the fact that TVET is an area where even your parents, you know, wouldn't want you to go there. And now we already have a systemic problem with gender participation in everything that we talk about. So before we get to a point and say, okay, we left the female behind, how do we work around inclusivity, especially including female in the participation of TVET in the country?
Okay. You know, before we move to that, let me make this initial statement that I think hitherto people have assigned different roles, different responsibilities, different jobs to different genders, right? But let's be frank. In terms of intellectual ability and creativity, women and men are the same. That is from my point of view. So if you think a woman cannot become an engineer, that's a big mistake. Right now in my class, I have a decent amount of young ladies who are engineers. Most of the time, they even outperform their female counterpart. So I want to put that there, that the era where people assume that, you know, men is stronger in some areas, no, that's not true. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, no, that's not true. But this is maybe true, that there are some areas that probably women may not want to go there. You know, there are some tasks, you know, look, I know maybe the feminists will come after me, but I want to be fair also. There are some tasks that are more masculine, that requires more, you know, work, you know, that maybe women cannot do. There are some tasks that women will do better than men. And so we need to be able to understand that. But I don't see what, you know, for instance, if you look at hairdressing, I don't think you're going to find many men in hairdressing. You know, not that men cannot be hairdressers. I know some men who are doing hairdressing. You know, I have a friend actually who was a hairdresser, a guy. When you look at carpentry, you don't see that many women in carpentry. That doesn't mean women cannot become carpenters. So I think what we should do as a nation is to look at the interests of these women and maybe polish some of these areas so that we can actually incorporate both genders in those areas. I think that should be done properly as a nation. Everywhere in the world, US, there are some areas where you're going to find more men than women, even in the trade areas like the TVET areas. And so for me, I believe in gender equality. Actually, in my school, I'm pretty much the coordinator of our diversity program in the College of Engineering. Okay. You know, and I support that women, black, all kinds of people should be given the same access and opportunity to be equal in all areas. All
right, thank you, Prof. So on our show, it's called Diaspora Connect.
Yes.
And we normally speak to Africans who are living in the diaspora. Fortunately for us, you are a Ghanaian and you live in the United States. So you are in the category of a diaspora.
Yes.
So most times we talk about the contribution of diaspora towards Africa's development. And talking about development, you know, TVET is in the center of development for Africa. So we want to put the spotlight on you, what you've been doing to support TVET education in your home country, Ghana.
Okay. So I also want you to remember, I'm not a TVET guy.
Oh,
you see, so yes. I'm an engineer.
Sure.
Even engineering, classify myself as an engineer at times become questionable because I'm an engineering professor. See, generally when you say engineering, you talk of those who are actually in the field, you know, professional engineers. So I will probably call myself an engineering professor. An engineering professor generally is not a TVET. A TVET is this 2-year hands-on artisans, you know, who really can get a job done. They are the ones who get a job done. So let me tell you briefly what some of the things I've been doing to really support even this area. I think short education, short courses are the way to go, even if it is not TVET. And so about 2 years ago, I started a company called Ankomah Learn. Okay. And all what I'm looking for is to find a way to get people in the diaspora, specifically in for the Africans who are outside the African continent, to find a way to come back to Ghana. And if you look at my business profile, business model, my model is simple. I know they will not come home. They will not come home to see things like the Accra-Tema Motorway. Or because of the Accra-Tema Motorway, they will not come back. Or they will come back for a short time. They will not come back and stay. But I want their brains to come back.
Okay.
You see, because we talk about brain drain, which is draining it from Africa to the other part of the world. I want the reverse brain drain.
Okay.
Because of technology, we can do that. So I set up Sankofa Learn, and right now, this particular time, I've been in Ghana for almost 11 weeks now. I've been working with Accra University. I've done some work with KN University. I'm working with Cape Coast University. I'm currently working with UNISA in South Africa as well. Now, as far as Sankofa is concerned, all what I want to do, and the site is out there, and I actually looked at it this morning, is to get students and faculty to put courses on that platform. Initially, I think it's going to be free. So, for instance, if I want to show you how to weave basket, I think this guy is the best in Tamale who can teach how to. We package it nicely and put it out there, so that in TVET education, you can learn how to do basket weaving even from your own area. Most people have phones now. A lady came to do my wife's hair a few days ago, and she said because of YouTube, nowadays, almost everybody can do hair. That is what we need. So I have, at least that is part of a contribution. I want to expand on this. Maybe AAU can take this up and maybe help build it up so that we can really educate our folks. But see, the solution of TVET is certification. See, the plumbers who came and messed my house up, they are gone. They're going to do somebody's house because I can't report them to anybody. They don't have any certificate. They are not certified to do the work. If you're looking for a carpenter, any carpenter will come here and do the work for you. When you burn your house down, what are you going to do? So we need to make sure these people are fully certified with a number, like a license number, so that when they mess up, they get out. So that when I call for a TVET expert, a technician, an artisan, and say, where is your certificate? I can call back and check to make sure the person is actually in the system. You know, so this is generally what I'm trying to, I'm trying to do so many interesting, just like the proposal I gave to Leonardo and John. These are some of the things that we need to be able to do to support it.
So, well, with the Sankofa platform, is it already functional?
Yes, yeah, it's up there.
You are now building it.
It's functional. You can go to sankofalearn.org.
Sankofa
Learn, one word.
Learn.org. So,
yeah.
one word.
Well,
.org.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that is interesting.
There are courses in there. My plan is to put look, you know, maybe I have to be very careful also. Africa is so strong in terms of resources, but so weak when it comes to using it, right? And other people are using our resources. I think, you know, so I'm taking the education that is not here and bring it here. So that hopefully 10, 20 years from now, some of us may be gone, but at least the information that we will bring back here may be able to, you know, support the development of these nations. For instance, if I know how to do galamsey very well, okay, so that it doesn't disturb the ecosystem, right? Then I'll put it on our platform. So John Mensah, who is in some little village, can grab his or his phone and look at, oh, maybe we can do this way. 10 minutes video, it will change the way they do business. Okay. That is what Sankofa Learn is all about.
Okay, so thank you very much, Prof. This has been an interesting discussion. I want us to, but before you go, I want us to debunk some erroneous thinking about TVET. You know, coming from a professor in engineering, probably people will take it strongly. First, people say that TVET is for those who are not academically good.
Okay, so academically good can be defined in so many areas, right? So I'm going to give you a very interesting example. Look at our football players. You see how they dribble?
Yeah.
Their dribbling is in the head. Mm-hmm. It is mathematics.
Okay.
And that is not the kind of mathematics I would do. That is not calculus, right? So they are smarter than me in that computational aspect. But maybe I'm smarter than them when it comes to asking me mental, like what is the square root of 45, stuff like that. And so it is so wrong for people to say that you are not academically strong and therefore go to TVET. And that is why the youth are run away. Yeah, I remember, but look, I went to sixth form many, many years back. And most of my colleagues went to POSEC. If you go to POSEC, you are destined to become a teacher, right? The women don't want teachers. They wanted sixth formers, whether they are doing archaeology, they are going to go to Legon to do this, engineering, physics, archaeology, nobody cares. They want the person who is the sixth form.
Okay.
But the TVET person instantly comes in, has a job.
Okay.
And that's what I have a guy working in my, you guys saw the mess here. And I told him 2 years from now, when I come back, I want to see him for pickup truck so that he can focus and build his business so that he can move on and do better jobs.
Okay.
So we need to, so that nonsense should go away. That if you are not academically strong, then go to TVET. Okay. No, look, there's a student who is doing, I will not mention his name. He comes to my house here. He's a good friend of our family. This guy can fix almost everything in the house, but he's doing IT. He's doing IT, information technology, in one of the schools here. I don't have anything against IT. I'm an IT person myself. But I told him, look, this is what you have. You are a TVET guy. So maybe take the IT that you have done and build a system that you can reach as many customers as you can. So you can go fix their system.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Your last words before we leave.
Oh, my last words is simple. We need to find a way to make TVET work in this country. And I think just like what we've been talking about, we need to create the systems. We need to create a platform. We need to create the environment so that people like us will come and support. You see, the sad part is, and this goes for every Ghanaian also, like myself. I personally think that if all the Ghanaians diaspora want to step in and start some small business for Ghana to work, they will do that and the country will work. The problem is when you put a business right here and you get your bag and you go back to the States, Germany, England, wherever you come from, that is the end of the business. And so I want our people, people don't want to talk about government, but government is the enabler. They need to create the system, the platform, the infrastructure, everything for things to build on. So I think the government should, focus on TVET. Government should set up TVET, but not just set up, make sure it is popular. If they have to force people to make TVET popular, they have to force people to make, they have to push some of the students to go to TVET so that by the time, as soon as they finish, they have a job. So that you can cut all these students who are, KNUST have 81,000 students or so. 81, how many do you have in the TVET system? And those who come from TVET, they don't have a job. They just walk around. They walk around, just like the university graduates.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Prof, for this interesting discussion. Viewers, if you are there today, we were talking about transforming TVET education in Ghana. If you are in Ghana or anywhere in the world and you are interested in TVET education, you can visit sankofaLearn.org. There are a lot of materials, practical materials over there that has been well packaged for you to transform yourself in terms of whichever field that you find yourself. Thanks for watching AAU TV. I was your host for today's show, Schenineda.